Greetings everyone. I am APURVA Choudhary from IT First Sem. This is our presentation on the topic The Human Cost of Conflict, Social Consequences of International War. Now let us introduce the team.
Hello everyone, myself Amit Yadav, IT First Sem.
Hello everyone, my name is ASHISH BHARDWAJ, IT First Sem.
Hello everyone, myself BHUKYA RAMCHARAN TEJA, IT First Sem.
Hello everyone, myself LALIT PATIDAR, IT First Sem.
Greetings, I am ANUTOSH Yadav, IT First Semester.
Together we are Team Abhimanyu. Conflicts. We will delve into the complexities of these conflicts, examining their origins, key players, and underlying causes. We'll also explore the broader geopolitical, economic, and cultural factors contributing to these conflicts. Join us as we unravel the intricate web of international tensions and seek a path towards peaceful resolution. First, we dive into the notable recent international conflicts. The first one among them is Syrian civil war. The Syrian civil war, which began in 2011 and is still ongoing, has been a brutal conflict with numerous actors involved. The war initially arose from a series of pro-democracy protests but quickly escalated into a complex multi-sided conflict involving the Syrian government, various rebel groups, foreign powers and terrorist organizations. The second war we will discuss about is the Russia-Ukraine war. The Russia-Ukraine war, initiated in 2022, is a major international conflict with significant global repercussions. The war was started by Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which is a sovereign nation with the aim of controlling key territories and undermining Ukrainian sovereignty. Now, taking the case study of Russia-Ukraine conflict and its geopolitical tensions, the first tension is historical tension. The conflict has deep historical roots, with a long-standing dispute over territory and identity between Russia and Ukraine. The second one is economic interest. The conflict has also been fueled by economic interests, with Russia seeking to maintain control over crucial energy sources in region. The third one is the NATO expansion. Russia's concerns over NATO expansion eastward, potentially threatening its security interests, have played a significant role in the conflict. The fourth one is nationalism and identity. Strong nationalist sentiments in both Russia and Ukraine have contributed in the conflict, further fueling tensions between the two nations. Then we take the case study of Afghanistan war. Soviet expansion from 1979 to 1989. The Soviet Union's intervention in Afghanistan, aimed at supporting a communist regime, led to a prolonged conflict. Then came the rise of the Taliban in the 1990s. The withdrawal of Soviet forces and subsequent political instability allowed the Taliban to rise power. Next came the US-led intervention in 2021 to 2021. The US invasion following the 9/11 attacks targeted at Al-Qaeda and sought to establish a stable government in Afghanistan. And then finally came the Taliban takeover in 2021. The US withdrawal and the Taliban's resurgence resulted in the collapse of the Afghan government and a return to Taliban rule. Now, as we have seen all these case studies about the different recent wars going on, now we look into the reasons for these conflicts. The first one is economic drivers of modern warfare. This includes, first, resource control. Conflicts often erupt over the control of vital resources such as oil, minerals, and water, driving nations and groups to compete for access and dominance. And the second one is economic inequality. Sharp economic disparities and social inequalities can create tensions and fuel conflict as marginalized groups seek to challenge the status quo. Then we look at the cultural and historical roots of conflict. It includes the first one as ethnic tensions. Ethnic divisions and historical grievances can lead to conflict, particularly when the groups compete for territory, resources, and political power. And secondly, it includes cultural differences. Clashing cultural values, beliefs, and practices can contribute to misunderstandings and hostility, exacerbating existing tensions. Now, finally, we look into the concept of nationalism and ideology in conflict. Nationalism can be a powerful source driving conflict as nations exert their interests and seek to protect their cultural heritage, territorial integrity, and sovereignty. And ideology means competing ideologies, particularly when they advocate for fundamentally different social and political systems, can lead to conflict, and particularly when groups seek to impose their views on others.
War are immediate and apparent. Destruction of infrastructure, loss of life, and disruption of daily activities. These direct consequences are just the beginning, as the ripple effects of war extend into various economic dimensions, reshaping economies on both local and global scales.
Now we will discuss the negative impacts of international wars on society, starting with the devastating ripple effects of war. The impact of war are not limited to the battlefield, they extend to society as a whole, leaving a lasting mark on individual, communities, and nations. This presentation explores the multifaceted repercussion of war on society, examining the profound and lasting consequences that ripple through generations. Negative impacts on society. It includes displacement. War forced millions to flee their home, seeking refuge in neighboring countries or within the nation. These refugees often face immense challenges, include lack of access to basic necessities, social integration difficulties, and the trauma of displacement. Second one is loss of life and infrastructure. The loss of human life is a devastating consequences of war. Conflict also causes widespread destruction of infrastructure, including homes, schools, hospitals, and essential services. Rebuilding these vital structures takes years, hindering development and economic recovery. Next is psychological trauma like PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. It is a common consequence of war affecting both combatants and civilians. Symptoms include flashbacks, nightmares, anxiety, and difficulty concentrating, impacting mental health and overall well-being. Another consequences include mental health challenges. War-related trauma can lead to a range of mental health challenges, including depression, anxiety, substance abuse, and suicidal thoughts. These conditions require specialized treatment and support to help individuals cope and heal. Breakdown of cohesion war disrupts social cohesion and community ties. The loss of loved ones, displacement, and mistrust can lead to social fragmentation and making it difficult for communities to rebuild and thrive. It also leads to economic disruption. Massive global GDP impact. War can cause significant economic disruption, impacting trade, investment, and development. The economic cost of war is immense, diverting resources away from essential services and hindering long-term growth. The economic impact of major armed conflicts can easily reach billions of dollars. Next is environmental consequences, which include pollution. Wartime activities such as bombing and the use of heavy weapons can lead to widespread environmental pollution. This includes air, water, and soil contamination, posing risk to human health and ecosystem. Next is habitat destruction. Conflicts can destroy natural habitats, displacing wildlife and disrupting delicate ecological balance. Deforestation, pollution, and the use of landmines can have lasting negative effect on biodiversity and ecological health. Next is climate change. War can contribute to climate change through increased emission from military activities and the destruction of forests. This creates a vicious cycle where climate change exacerbates conflict while conflict further harms the environment. Now, erosion of civil liberties. It includes freedom of speech. In times of war, government often restricts civil liberties including freedom of speech, assembly and the press. These restrictions can be used to stifle dissent and control information, undermining democratic principle. Next include due process. Wartime measures can also erode due process and the rule of law. Military tribunals, arbitrary detention, and the suspension of legal protection can undermine the fundamental right of individual. Political participation. Conflict can disrupt democratic process and hinder political participation. The erosion of civil liberties and the rise of authorities can have lasting consequences for societies seeking to rebuild. Next is cycle of violence. War often lead to a cycle of violence and retaliation, perpetuating conflict for generations. This cycle can be fueled by anger, revenge, and a lack of trust, making it difficult to achieve lasting peace. It includes intergenerational trauma. The trauma of war can be passed down through generations, leading to long-term social and psychological consequences. Children born into war-torn societies may experience higher rate of violence, poverty, and instability. Next is peace building challenges. Breaking the cycle of violence requires concerted efforts in peace building, including reconciliation, justice, and the addressing of underlying causes of conflict. It goes to barriers to recovery. First one is reconstruction. The process of rebuilding after war can be slow and challenging. Scarce resources, political instability, and the legacy of conflict can impede reconstruction efforts, leaving societies vulnerable to further instability. Next is healing. Healing from the trauma of war is a long and complex process. Individual communities and nations need access to mental health services, education, and economic opportunities to rebuild and thrive. Next is reconciliation. Reconciliation between warring factions is essential for lasting peace. This process involves addressing past injustices, promoting forgiveness, and fostering a shared vision for a peaceful future. Now we will discuss the cost of war. The impact of war are far-reaching and devastating, affecting not only those directly involved in the conflict but also the future generation. It is crucial to remember the human cost of war, to advocate for peace, and to support efforts to prevent future conflicts.
Children sent by frontline health workers in Ethiopia's Tigray region have revealed
most pressing humanitarian crisis. And for a third consecutive year, Yemen has topped this list.
Global impacts. Global impact of international war. International conflicts, though often localized, have far-reaching outcomes that extend beyond the immediate battlefield. These impacts reverberate across the globe, affecting economics, politics, society, and the environment. Economic repercussion. Trade disruption, wartime conflict often disrupt global trade routes and supply chains. Ports, airports, and transport networks become vulnerable to attack or shutdown, hindering the flow of goods and services. This led to shortage, price increase, and economical instability. Resource shortage. Wars can strain global resources, impact everything from food production to energy supplies. Conflicts disrupt agricultural production, leading to food insecurity in affected regions and beyond. Energy supply are also vulnerable with reliance on war-torn areas or disruption to global energy markets, impacting energy price and availability. Geopolitical realignment. Shift in alliance. International wars can realign alliance and change the balance of power. Nations may form new alliances while existing ones may fracture or weaken. This can lead to a new geopolitical landscape with shifting power dynamics. Emergency of new factors. War can also give rise to new players on the world stage. Non-state actors like terrorist groups or rebel factions may gain influence and become significant player in the international arena, challenge established norms and posing new threats. International relationships. The aftermath of war can lead to recognition of international relationships. Treaties may rewritten, new institutions may be established, and global governance structure may evolve. This can be lengthy and complex process with lasting implication of international cooperation. Humanitarian crisis, refugee displacement. War often results in massive displacement of population. Millions of people flee their homes, seeking refuge in neighboring countries or other parts of the world. This creates immense pressure on host nation, straining resource and social services. Humanitarian aid. Humanitarian consequences of the war require significant international response. Aid organizations provide essential relief, including food, water, shelter, and medical care to those affected by conflict. However, needs are often overwhelming and resources are often insufficient. Environmental damage. Pollution. War generates significant environmental damage through the use of weapons, the destruction of infrastructure, and the displacement of population. Air and water pollution, deforestation, and soil contamination are common consequences of conflict. Climate change. The long-term impact of war on the environment can exacerbate climate change. Conflict disrupt efforts to address climate change, diverting resource and attention away from the mitigation and adaptation strategies. The consequences of war can also undermine fragile ecosystem and biodiversity. Resource depletion. Wars can lead to the depletion of natural resources such as water, timber, and minerals. This can exacerbate existing resources scarcity, leading to the conflict and instability in the long term. Technological innovation, military advancement, medical innovation, communication technology, civil application. Wars often drive rapid technological innovation, particularly in the realm of military technology. This system leads to advancements in weapon system, communication technology, and medical treatment. These innovations often find application in civil life, contributing to broader technology process. Global power dynamics, shifting power, regional conflicts, global security. War can reshape global power dynamics, shifting the balance of power between nations and leading to the rise of new global actors. This can lead to instability in regions where power vacuums emerge and create challenges for global security. Supply chain disruption. First, production. Wars can disrupt global supply chain, affecting the production and disruption of goods and services. This can lead to shortage, price increase, and economic instability. Second, logistics. The logistics of global trades are often disrupted by war. Transportation network, ports, and airports become vulnerable to attack or shut down, hindering the movement of goods and materials. Third, market volatility. Wars can lead to the market volatility, creating uncertainty and instability in global markets. This can make it difficult for business to plan and operate, hindering economic growth.
Now we will explore the cultural and historical legacy of war. The enduring legacy of war, cultural and historical impacts. This presentation explores how war leaves an indelible mark on societies, shaping not only political landscapes but also cultural identities, narratives, and artistic expressions. We'll delve into the profound influence of war on national identities, wartime narratives, artistic representations, and the challenges of post-conflict healing. War's enduring impact on national identity. War often acts as a crucible for national identity, forging shared experiences, values that bind citizens together. National narratives emerge from these conflicts, shaping the collective memory of the nation. Wartime narratives, shaping the past, present, and future. First, myth making and propaganda. Wartime narratives are often shaped by myth making and propaganda, which serve as galvanized support for the conflict. These narratives simplify complex situations, emphasizing heroism and sacrifice, while downplaying the brutality and ethical challenges of war. Historical revisionism and critical analysis. As the time passes, historical revisionism and critical analysis offer fresh perspective on wartime narratives, examining the context of conflict, considering alternate viewpoints, challenging established narratives, and contribute to a more comprehensive understanding of the past. Art as a reflection of trauma and resilience. Painterly portrayals. Artists often use their work to convey emotional and psychological impacts of war. Paintings, sculptures, and installation depict the destruction, loss, and trauma of conflict, while also exploring themes of resilience, hope, and enduring human spirit. Music as a voice of emotion. Music is a powerful medium for expressing the emotions of war. Songs can capture sorrow, loss, the fear of combat, and the yearning for peace. Wartime music also reflects cultural influences, provoking insights into social and political conflict. Photography, capturing the reality of war. Photojournalism has played a crucial role in documenting the reality of war, often challenging official narratives and bringing the human cost of conflict to the foreground. Powerful photographers can serve as a reminder of the horrors of war. War literature to shape public consciousness. Memoir and autobiographies. Personal accounts of war offer a fresh first-hand perspective, providing a raw and intimate portrayal of the human experience of the conflict. These narratives humanize the impact of war, highlighting the individual stories behind the statistics and the emotional toll on those involved. Poetry and drama. Poetry and drama use powerful language and imagery to convey the emotional intensity of the war. They explore themes of loss, grief, fear, and hope, offering a profound reflection on the human condition in the face of conflict. Media's role in shaping the cultural memory of war. First, news media. News media covers does coverage and influence. Social media amplifies voice and narratives. Film and television depicts wars on screens. Documentary and investigative journalism uncovers truths and challenges narratives. Monuments and memorials, site of collective mourning. First, remembering the fallen. Monuments and memorials serve as public spaces for the remembrance and reflection. They honor those who died in the war, offering a physical manifestation of the collective grief and the reminder of the human cost of conflict. Persevering history. These structures preserve the historical record of war, serving as educational tools and promoting discussions about the causes and consequences of conflict. They provide a tangible connection to the past and offer a space for understanding the complex legacies of war. Third, promoting reconciliation. Memorial sites can also serve as the platforms for promoting reconciliation and peace. They can provide a space for dialogues, understanding, and healing, helpful to bridge divisions and foster a more peaceful future.
Now we will discuss the solutions and our contribution for international wars. War is a devastating reality that affects millions worldwide. Understanding the causes and impacts of conflicts is critical to finding lasting solutions. This presentation will explore various approaches to conflict resolution and peace building, examining the roles of the international community and local communities, as well as individual actions that can contribute to a more peaceful world. Firstly, defining the global challenges, causes, and impacts of war. Then, approaches to conflict resolution, diplomacy, peacekeeping, reconciliation. First, diplomacy. Negotiations and dialogue between the conflicting parties, often facilitated by international organizations to find peaceful solutions. Second one, peacekeeping. Deployment of international forces to maintain peace and security in conflict zones, often with a mandate to monitor ceasefires and protect civilians. Third one, reconciliation. process aimed at restoring relationships and building trust between communities and individuals affected by conflict, addressing historical grievances, and promoting healing. Now, the role of international community in peace building. Humanitarian aid, providing immediate relief to conflict affected populations, including food, water, shelter, medical care, and other essential resources. Peacekeeping operations, deploying troops and civilian personnel to maintain peace and security, monitor ceasefires, and protect civilians in conflict zones. Development assistance, supporting long term reconstruction and development efforts in war torn regions, including rebuilding infrastructure, promoting economic growth, and strengthening the governance. Empowering local communities, grassroots initiative for peace, community dialogue, facilitating open and honest conversations between diverse groups, addressing grievances and building understanding. Women's leadership, supporting women's participation in peace building efforts, promoting gender equality, and empowering women to lead change. Youth engagement involving young people in peace building processes, providing them with opportunities to learn about conflict resolution and contribute to a peaceful future. Education and training, promoting peace education, conflict resolution skills, and critical thinking to address the root causes of conflict. Humanitarian aid and disaster relief for war torn regions. First, immediate relief, providing essential supplies such as food, water, shelter, medical store, and sanitation to those displaced or affected by conflict. Second, reconstruction and development, supporting long term recovery efforts, including rebuilding infrastructure, restoring livelihoods, and promoting economic growth in war torn regions. Protection of vulnerable groups, providing targeted assistance and support to vulnerable populations, including children, women, and the elderly who are often disproportionately affected by conflicted. Promoting human rights and addressing root cause of conflict. Protecting human rights, ensuring that all the individuals have equal rights and freedoms regardless of their background, and that these rights are respected during conflicts. Addressing inequality, tackling economic and social and political inequalities that can contribute to conflict. Promoting inclusive development and ensuring that all members of society have a voice. Promoting good governance, strengthening the democratic institutions, promoting transparency and accountability, and ensuring that all citizens have access to justice.
Positive change due to conflicts. The unexpected positive impacts of international conflict. Wars, while devastating, have often spurred unexpected technological advancement, and society shifts. Join us. We explore some inspiring positive changes that have emerged from the shadows of international conflicts. Technological advancement and innovation, wartime urgency, the necessity of out out of maneuver enemies fueled rapid innovation. Radar jet engines and penicillin were initially developed for military purpose, but later revolutionized civilian life. The pressure of survival furnished creative problem solving, the leading to breakthroughs in various of fields. Beyond the battlefield applications, wartime discoveries often have ripple effects, transforming the industries and societies. For the example, the development of computers, originally used for code breaking, paved the way for the digital revolution. This highlights how military necessity can spur advancement with wider societal benefits, improve the battlefield medicine and trade and efficiency. Battlefield medicine parties saving the most lives, refining the trade techniques and fast-paced treatment procedure. This evolved into modern emergency medicine, maximizing efficiency and resource the allocation in critical situations. Advancements in surgery and transformation wounds and injuries demanded new surgical techniques. Blue transformation advancements. These innovations translated to civilian health care, improving the treatment of injuries and saving the countless lives. Antibiotic and pain management. The discovery of penicillin during the Second World War revolutionized infection control. Research into pain management, driven by battlefield needs, yielded new pain relief methods applicable to all patients. Increase the international comparison of awareness of human rights. Global collaboration. During the conflicts, nations often collaborate to address common challenges. This is cooperation of extends beyond the wartime fostering. International organization dedicated to peace, development and humanitarian aid. Human rights awareness. The horrors of war draw attention to human rights violations and leading to the international treaties and organization dedicated to protecting human rights. This institution and aim to prevent future atrocities and ensure the dignity of all people. Share the responsibility. Conflicts emphasize and the human suffering transcend borders. This realization inspires a sense of shared responsibility, encouraging international assistance and collaboration, elevative suffering address humanitarian crisis and promote the peace.
Thank you.